Good morning. I am going to try and teach you how to make a grilled cheese, or if you prefer, grilled ham and cheese. Loaf bread. You want to reach in and go a little further than the end here and go inside. So you got bread that looks like that. And you open it up so the outsides are up. Take butter and just lightly butter the outsides of both pieces. Like I said, just lightly butter, just so there's a coating on it. Obviously you want your butter soft, which I'm sure in the Philippines it is. But you also want your bread firmed up. My bread was in the refrigerator, so it's firmer, so when I butter it, it doesn't tear or anything like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my pan and just, get the flame going. See, flame going. And put it at about medium. And then you put your pan in there and let it get hot, okay? So while that's heating up, you want to take your piece of cheese. Now it depends on how cheesy you want it. Me, I love cheese, but I don't like it messy. So I'd take one piece of cheese and I break it in half. And then I get my ham, and depending on, now this is probably not a word, how hammy you want it. The ham that I believe you have is thin sliced, so I would probably use 3 of those. The ham that I currently have is a little thicker, so I'm just gonna use 2 pieces. So I get those ready. So I've got my ham, I've got my cheese, and I've got my bread all ready to go. Just wiping off my ham from the ham juice. And then I'm gonna go over by the pan, and you take one of your buttered slices of bread and you take the buttered side and put it down. Put the butter on the pan. No butter on this side. And then you take a piece of cheese, and I try to alternate it. So the cheese is on the top part of the bread, or let's say left side of the bread. Then I'm gonna put my ham, and then I put the other piece of cheese on the right side of the bread. And the reason for the cheese being that way is that way it holds the bread together and the ham together, so when you flip it and stuff, it's not gonna fall apart. And then you put the other slice of bread on with the butter up. No butter on the inside. And you just let that go, and it'll cook and make it crispy and brown. You just let it go for a little bit. And the way you know it's ready to turn, it'll slide easy. Like if you push on it with a spatula or whatever you're gonna use to turn it, this is what I have. I just scoop it and flip it. But see, it won't quite move yet because it's sticking because of that butter. Once it's completely cooked, it'll release and you'll be able to slide it. So you don't want it overly hot because it will burn. And if it's low, it'll still cook, it'll just take longer, that's all. And basically you just want to cook it until it's golden brown, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I may end this video and then come back to show you the goldenness of it, but I'm not sure how much of this will send. See, it's still sticking a little bit. So I'm going to end this, make sure this part goes, and then I'll turn it back on when I'm ready to flip so you can see. Okay, part of that last video got cut off. I don't know where it ended. I am currently waiting for it to cook. And what you want to do is just let it cook, and when you push on it with the spatula, it'll release a little bit and slide around. Okay, see, this is starting to slide around well, not quite. A little bit more. It'll slide on your pan a little bit easier. If you push on it, it doesn't move. The butter is still gooey and it's not released yet. All right, this is released, but I'm willing to bet it's really lightly golden. It's not done for me. I like it a little bit more brown. Not brown, but just tan. Okay, so you want to take your spatula and you slide it under real quick and flip. Oh, actually I was wrong. Holy cow. That's actually a little bit more done than I like it, but you might like it that way. So I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit. It's a little too high. So as you can see, it's that goldenness it's a little dark for me. I'll still eat it, obviously. It's delicious. But it's real dark, so it's almost on the burnt side. So hopefully you understand what's going on. If you have questions, you can ask. But now, because the pan is really hot, it'll take much quicker for that to go. And I advise you use the cheddar cheese with the ham. Ham and cheddar go best together. And the cheese will melt in there, so it'll be nice and delicious. If you go on a lower heat, it'll take a little bit longer, but that cheese will melt better actually. So, you know, go to low to medium, and then you'll get a nice gooey, melty cheese. All right, see, now that's perfect. See, look how nice and golden and brown that is, see? So now I'm ready to eat it. Turn off your heat. Take your plate, scoop up your sandwich, and good to go. Okay, now that it's ready to eat, you can just pick it up and eat it. And see, the cheese is melty on the inside, crispy on the outside. Delicious that way. Or you can cut it diagonally, cut it in half. Makes it a little bit easier to eat. And then you can get your barbecue sauce. I'm using my Bullseye. You can use the one that you have, the Kinder's. I also like ketchup. And very occasionally, sometimes mustard. So you take it, dip, and bite. Just another dimension. And then if you have some chips, another delicious thing. Take a chip, dip that in a bit of barbecue sauce. Also really, really good. Doesn't matter what kind of chip you got. Potato chip, flavored, unflavored, they're all good in barbecue sauce. The tortilla chips, those are also good in barbecue sauce. So now I hope you understand what I mean, why you use loaf bread to do the grilled cheese. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Like, comment, and subscribe below.